Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're taking a look at the live versions of the battle mission from Street Woman Fighter Season 2. So I do know that there are multiple facets to how the criteria works. We have a Section A, a Section B, and a Section C, each with different requirements, and so for this, we're going to be taking a look at each crew's individual sections. I'm pretty pumped about it. It's going to be great. I've already analyzed A and C from all crews, gave my thoughts there. If you're curious, I'll tag them below in the corresponding sections of these videos. Definitely intrigued at some of the results I've already been hearing about, but I'll get into that whenever I get into the analysis. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. 1 million
These songs are like all from when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sexy back.
Versus Mannequeen. Now we saw Mannequeen's recordings. Wild. I'm interested to see the interactions here. I love that.
Wow.
It's a sexy back.
여기는 맨날 의상 활용을 해.
맞아. 와 근데 저것만 벗었는데 너무 예쁘다.
이거 준비 많이 했네?
이아킴 쌤 표정부터 무서웠어요.
Okay. She was more stable in the recording, but I like that they're doing that. Yep. They're all able to hold it. She's like, if you're gonna hold it. That was nice. To back walkover. I did say that already. Yep.
And maybe something got stuck.
그냥 망했다. 동작 틀린 것도 아니고 그냥 틀린다는 게 진짜 이게
Yeah. This one, honestly, out of all the crews, because I've already seen the other two lineups, that's the first like major mistake that I've seen. I think with Bebe, one of them went to their face a little too early. And it's just them, no Leah Kim here.
2, 1, switch, Mannequeen.
Yes. That's right, the energy's different with a live audience.
와 노래 미쳤다. 오 비대들.
They're all eating while they're having to do the battles. They're grabbing, moving. I love the fact they didn't just leave the jackets. Guys!
와 킹.
In heels too! Yes!
와우. 기술을 막 하네. 와 힐 신고 어떻게 그래?
I feel like they use what's gonna hype a crowd up, which is fair. Smart.
Yep. Correct. Correct. Because the live audience is part of your score. So it makes sense. Exactly what Wuklo tried to do is exactly what Jam did. Like, everybody does that. And that's how they chose it. And I love that they chose to do it. Love it! Energy! Yeah, but Waxy did not have hers there.
또이또이일 수도 있겠다.
She made it work. There's just little things. I would say honestly, out of all the groups, this is the first time that we've seen major mistakes on both sides. Oh man!
와 확실히 배틀러다.
Now they're quote unquote on even playing field now. That's what I would equate this to. Way to recover it, recover it. she's like, I want to be in it. And I love that I actually took it. Ooh, okay. Okay. Bringing it. Oops, sorry. Already looked at that one. Bringing it back to sexy back here. Initial thoughts, neither crew in this section did it as well as they did in the recording. This is the first time I'm saying this. Other crews brought more adrenaline, brought more energy, more power, and this is the first time where I've already mentioned this. I actually mentioned this quite a few times when my analysis between Jam versus Lady Bounce when they were and doing the live very recently today. So what's interesting here is I already mentioned that, and we're going to say it here because you saw it on both sides. Whenever adrenaline is integrated into a performer, regardless of how seasoned you are, when you're approaching a new stage or you have a live audience or it's something, there's a factor in there that may spark nervousness and adrenaline comes in, a couple things may happen. Some people are in the category, I would say like Bebe's Bada and Jam Republic's Kirsten, where their energy escalates and they're able to really become powerhouses and have supernatural and like superpower almost in how they choose to interpret their music and how powerful they are in the dynamics that they are pursuing. Now with those, sometimes they can overshadow their other members, but that's not what happened with either crew. And I already mentioned that. Here is where the other side can come in. Some people downcast, sometimes people make different choices than what would normally happen. And also you would have to factor in sometimes people become over tense, not as stable. I know for me when I'm really nervous or I'm very vulnerable, sometimes my balance is really off. So I would say a lot of that happened here, but it happened on both sides, not just one side. Honestly. Now, a lot of them were like, bringing sexy back. I still love the choice they made. I'm bringing sexy back. There, but you look there, it's just, it wasn't nearly like crisp and clean where they're hitting their hips at the same time. Whoever was in front, she was delayed. Little note like that. Boom, everybody else hit up and she was delayed by about a half count, and it was not because they're hitting different parts of the music. I think it was Leah. Leah hit too late. Sexy back. But for some reason in that angle, you saw it. It's just in the other playbacks, you didn't see it. That right there was nice. Love the energy that she's hitting. That was so fun. Love the makeup on Mannequeen, gotta say. That right there, break it down. That was really fun. I love that choice. Definite a diss to Mannequeen to Sarah. I've seen that leg extension from a couple people. I have been reacting to season 1 of Street Woman Fighter, if you haven't noticed that, or but because I've had a lot of copyright issues with some of the challenges, so forgive me for that. Complete side note. But a lot of whackers from the show, I've seen some of them demonstrate that kind of one leg stability with a lot of variations in their overheads, and I love it every time because no one looks out of place at all as I see it. And here is of no exception. I just love it. It's just so impressive. And when Sarah does it, it's impressive in the energy that she does, that she's just having a tad bit of a bobble that's happening right here, which is just a note. It's just a note. You just got to factor that in. You know what I'm saying? And they're extending it out. I love it. Sarah's like, if you're going to do it, you got to do it. Back walkover, super nice and clean. Always a fan of proper technique in a back walkover. Look at that. Beautiful. Now here's where the big mess up comes in. You look here, the pull of the jacket didn't quite happen when it needed to, and then whenever they were going across, they were not in line together, so it was really difficult where you want us to look. And I think that was a really big kind of issue that may have happened. Yeah, I feel like we don't really need to touch on that one as much. It could be, could be because of a just positioning, traveling, that kind of stuff happens. Take the jackets, Leah moves around. it's clean choreo. It feels like 1MILLION, you know. Do I think it was pretty strong? I mean, they did pretty well here. Do I think they had as much, like, when you look at their actual gimmick that they did struggle to set it up a little bit. I love that beginning they did. Sexy back, huge pun, loved it. To that in my analysis. But whenever you see, remember they are comparing between the two. My note on this is that both crews, I love the fact that they took stuff away. Both crews, you know, I would say put themselves on an even playing field. If Mannequeen was clean, I thought it would have been a very, very, very clean victory of this round for them. But they made a couple of mistakes that, you know, could affect the influence of who votes for who, you know? Because remember, the live audience, a lot of them are preferentially gonna vote for 1MILLION regardless of how they do because of their name. You can't negate that. These aren't professional dancers in the audience. A lot of them are spectators or fans of the show or fans of these women. So you're naturally gonna have people who are diehard, just like there's diehard Jam Republic fans, diehard Lady Bounce fans, diehard Mannequeen fans, 1MILLION, the whole shebang. They may show up there and they're like, I'm gonna vote for my crew, regardless if they get caught on fire and they frolic off stage and they don't do anything, they roll on the floor. I'm gonna vote for them anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not, a lot of these people are not coming at it from an objective lens. You know what I'm saying? Just like some of us as viewers may not be approaching these as objective as, you know, a judge would need to be viewing it, right? We don't want a judge to look at this with oh, I'm a fan of Mannequeen, so we're naturally gonna pick Mannequeen. Or, oh, I'm a fan of 1MILLION, I'm gonna pick them. You gotta look at what is the criteria, and it would be unfair to the crews too, because that is not depicting or appropriate to what they're bringing to the table, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel that there's a lot of that may be factoring in, because I did hear that Mannequeen took the fight judge, but 1MILLION took the audience, is what I was hearing from some people who watched the episode. Because remember, I'm just watching these, and I may watch the episode after just to get more context later when I react to other things. But you can't like, we don't live in a perfect world, unfortunately. So if Mannequeen, I will say, if Mannequeen was clean 100% of their set, I think it would have been a lot harder for some of these live audience members to vote for 1MILLION, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? When you look at the difficulty of their whacking, it's so strong. It's beautiful. Such a strong start from them. The energy right here. Love the cartwheel over. I agree with Kirsten, because she was like, they're doing things that'll impress the audience.
I feel like they use what's going to hype a crowd up, which is fair.
Correct. And I already said that. It's very smart. It's definitely the smartest thing you can do as a crew who's operating at a disadvantage in popularity. Mannequeen is not as popular as 1MILLION, and that's why I said what I said earlier. And I will say though, Mannequeen has always showed up and showed out in every challenge. I think one of the first times personally where I have felt that it was a bit underwhelming was their Hwasa challenge that just recently happened, but that's a whole nother analysis, and that doesn't matter here. And I know it may matter in the voting later on for like eliminations and stuff, but I really think all of this, love the energy. They're going around hyping the crowd, making sure that they're considering everybody. Love that. The energy is so hype. I love them that they're going off. For them, they're like, oh, predictable. Junji and Waxy. Of course. That right there. So this is where your first mistake happens, but note where she is. She is near the center. So a lot of people could possibly overlook it because she's committing to it. She does not have her tie, right? Now, if it was on the tail end, maybe a judge would have seen it more. And it's also far away from a judge's. And now Waxy, what is it? She hesitated just slightly with her arm. But of course the camera, if they didn't have the zoom in, more people wouldn't have caught that. Let's just be honest, you know? But Waxy, she has to get back in the zone because that was a zone breaker right there for her. But look, she also didn't catch it there, so it's number 2. So I wonder if, you know, she may feel bad about the fact that she wasn't able to put it in her mouth, and you can see that they're grabbing, they're whacking, so her energy is going to be affected by this. Regardless of how much of a professional you are. And then right here, I think it was Reddick. So this is like a strike 3. Another big mistake that happened. She rushed, and she didn't turn, and she's doing kind of her own thing. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my big note on that. It's Red Elite was just a little too early. She didn't fully turn to finish out that corner. Some people may not have seen it. Others may have. I did because of the camera. The energy is really nice. Love the gimmick of the da-da-da with the camera, bringing it back. No, I don't know what they're trying to allude to. Not sure. Maybe because of the wordplay or what. I love that. She's trying to get in on it. And she goes and she pushes it. Yeah, so honestly, it was very strong. I will say, Mannequeen, if you're looking at how a crew structured up the dissery, right? Because it's a battle mission. So part of it is dissing your opponent, not just with the song choice and like one-upping the song choice, but also doing imagery or wordplay or kind of movement context or gimmicks that kind of showcase the dissing of your crew, of the other crew. And I think that out of the two, I really feel that Mannequeen really brought it on multiple facets. Also, when you look and if you isolate it from the technique, Mannequeen brought more difficult technique, but also I think they messed up more frequently around a very close amount of time, but also 1MILLION messed up one of their gimmicks. So I think it's just a mix of all of that. It is more of a legit toss-up. If it's true that 1MILLION got the live audience vote, I understand it because, you know, Mannequeen didn't have a clean run here like they did for the recordings. My hope is that Mannequeen got a lot of views on the global because they were so intense, and it was definitely very captivating, especially for the section that they had. So my votes, personally, I probably would have, out of the two, I probably would have gone with Mannequeen because of the complexity of what they brought, because they both made mistakes on both sides. So that would be kind of my vote. But I really like the gimmicks that 1MILLION did, but I think Mannequeen brought more dissing to it and made it feel like a battle, you know? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I was helpful in some way. I know with these particular reactions, I am focusing more on other aspects outside of just the content. I am comparing the analytical version of what I watched with the camera only versus the live and how things have changed. And I know a lot of you have done the same. And honestly, I feel like with some of my votes, it kind of is up in the air because of different factors and different aspects outside of just the content we're watching. But I'm really thankful for the fact that I'm able to do these, be able to discuss alongside you guys, and be able to interact with everybody in the community, both on YouTube and on Patreon. It is all so humbling for me of the fact that I'm in a position where I can actually contribute anything helpful for others who enjoy the show just like myself. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.